Welcome back to the StockTA podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Stewart. Today, we're looking at a junior explorer that is successfully playing the modern mining playbook. We're talking about Precore Gold, ticker PRCG. Please note this interview is being disseminated on behalf of Precore Gold. They just consolidated 100% interest in their Lac Big-Rush project in Quebec, and they have another property in Peru where they just added a heavyweight senior project manager who helped lead one of the largest copper miners in the world. To walk us through this high-tech, multi-jurisdictional strategy, I'm joined by Precore's executive chairman, Paul Dumas. Paul, you are entering an aggressive work phase on two different continents. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for having me here.
So Paul's going to walk us through their slide deck on some of the upcoming catalysts they have and where their land packages are situated.
Okay, I'm going to run through the deck relatively quickly because we don't have too much time, but I just want to hit some of the key parts of the property. I'm going to skip our forward-looking statement. I want to run straight to our locations of our properties. We're in two fantastic jurisdictions. One property is located in the Chibougamau mining camp of Quebec. The property is called Lac Big-Rush. And our flagship is located in Peru, southern Peru, actually, just about 110 kilometers south of the Arikepay town. So quickly for Arikepay, it's located 1,200 meters of altitude, so not too high, in a good jurisdiction. There's several miners that surround us here. We're about 35 kilometers to the north of Cerro Verde, which is the largest copper mine in Peru right now. Tia Maria just got permitted for production in October of 2025. They are 8 kilometers to the south of us. So we're sitting in between two of these large copper producers. A very good geological location there. What we like about this property is that there's over 13,000 meters of historical drilling there done in 2012 and 2017. All the holes intercepted the mineralization. And what we see, there's two different parts of this property. One's a more of a copper porphyry system and the other one's a gold porphyry system. But what attracted us to the property is basically the gold content on this. I got to keep in mind in 2012 and 2017, the prices of the commodities were completely different than they are today. So this makes this asset quite robust. Some of the historical drilling, you're looking at 420 meters of 0.91 grams gold with some silver and copper. So what we want to do in the coming months, we're in the process of permitting. We should obtain our permits somewhere around September or October of this year. So we're looking to go into do a 5,000 meter drill program there and follow up on some of the historical holes. Just to conceptualize a bit, this property is a large property. It covers over 1,800 hectares. The previous drilling was done. The drill holes are done anywhere between 300 and 500 and a kilometer apart. So there's lots of room there to add volume of rock. So the phase one drill program would consist of twinning two holes and doing 200-meter step outs on the property to really understand the mineralization, where it's going. I mean, we have a target right now, footprint 400 meters wide by 3 kilometers long. So it's a big area to play. And then we have established quite a few targets. So our permitting is going to be for a 2-year period and a maximum of 20 drill pads. Off of those drill pads, we'll be able to drill 2 to 3 holes each. So just to give you an idea of where we're located and the proximity of the area, and it's getting a lot of recognition in the market. As I mentioned before, Tia Maria is owned by Southern Peru, and that's 8 kilometers to the south of us. Our Arikepay Project, that's owned by Precore, is sitting in the middle here in pink. To the north of us, we have Southern Peru. And to the south of us, we have also Southern Peru. And most recently, Freeport and McMoran has a claim to the east of us. So we're very well positioned. These are tier one producers. Obviously, they know what they're looking for in the Southern Copper Belt of Peru. So right now, as I mentioned, we're in the process of our permitting. We should be finalizing that within the next month or so, and hopefully to start drilling sometime in the fall of this year. Lac Big-Rush, just quickly on this, we're going to be doing some follow-up work on it. It's a property that we acquired 100% of. It consists of 2,700 hectares. Again, it's in a mining camp that's seen a lot of interest lately. IAMGOLD has consolidated a lot of property in that area. They have an inferred resource right now of 8.5 million ounces spread out throughout several deposits. Lac Big-Rush property is actually 300 meters from the Croto deposit, which is 640,000 ounces at 1.7 grams gold. What we like about this is that it was drilled in the 1950s and 1980s. They intercepted some good mineralization there, and we want to follow up and bring in a bit more some high value exploration on the property to follow up on those historical drill holes. So that's basically, in a nutshell, where our properties lie, what we're looking for. Obviously, good jurisdiction and located in 2 mining camps. Quickly, we're a young company. We only have 32 million shares outstanding, which is fantastic. Management owns about 35%. Our top holders is 20%, including Fortescue out of Australia that own 8.5%. So very tightly held coming into our drill program this fall.
That's a great overview. Thanks for going through that. So where you're located in Peru, there's obviously some great companies around you. At a kind of high level, I know you've only done a little bit of work and you've inherited some historical data, but how does your basic geological structure compare to some of your neighbors?
Actually, the geological footprint is very similar. We're located on major faults and shear zones. We have the same geological footprint as the other producers there. We're looking at the Cerro Verde, Tia Maria, the average grade is about 0.37, 0.36 copper. We have grades anywhere between 0.29 and 0.41, so very similar in terms of grade of copper. But again, what really piqued our attention is the gold content. I mean, there's an enriched gold envelope there that's part of a larger porphyry copper system. We're not ignoring the copper system, but the first drill holes will be going into the gold system. I mean, there's one of the historical holes hit 3 meters, hit 20 grams over 3 meters at the bottom of the hole, and there's never any follow-up on it. So
how do you not follow up on that?
Well, no, definitely. But you got to keep in mind, it was done in 2012, 2017. So the price of the commodity completely different today.
I mean, in copper's at all-time highs. Gold just recently hit all-time highs, been consolidating, might make another run at all-time highs. So you're sitting on potentially 2, very valued, high-value commodity plays here that are in demand right now.
Yeah, and we strongly believe that after our drill program or during our drill program that this asset will obviously get re-rated because of the price of the commodity and the recent drilling that we're doing on it. So, phase one, we're looking at anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 meters of drilling. And what we'd like to do is on the back of those results, we're pretty confident that they're going to be robust results because of the historical drilling on it. We'd like to go into a 10 to 15,000 meter drilling in a phase 2 program.
Is phase 2 fully funded yet, or would you be looking to raise
phase
after
2 is not
phase
fully
1?
funded. We'll be looking to go to the market probably after we release the results of phase 1.
Okay, and then phase 2, would you need additional permitting for that, or could you piggyback to that?
The permit that we have that we're going to be getting on hand is going to be good for 2 years with 20 drill pads. Off of those pads, you could do 3 holes. You could actually do 4 if you wanted to. But depending on how these results will come out, we'll be in the process of expanding that permit for the phase 2 program.
And that would be at some time next year would be phase 2 drilling?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So you'll have a lot of news flow coming out of Peru. And then what's the plan with the Quebec project in the short term?
Short term, we finished compiling the data there. We're going to do some artificial intelligence on that property to try to identify some drill targets. We're going to get some people in the field over the summer months just to do a bit more work, do a bit more geophysics on the property, and hopefully we'll have some targets for the fall there. What we'd like to do is to test a couple of the targets with probably about a 2,000 to 2,500 meter drill program. I mean, Quebec is good, a great jurisdiction. It's in our backyard. We have access to the personnel there. There's good infrastructure there. That camp has seen a lot of activity because of the consolidation that IAMGOLD has had in the last couple of months. So yeah, we're looking forward to that. I mean, it's a good location. Quebec is always a good location to build or develop a project there. And we're going to be doing a similar to that in Arikepay. We're going to be doing some geophysics. We're going to be doing a detailed mag survey on that property and eventually an IP just prior to the drill program. So that's going to provide us a lot of information, a lot of structures that we could position our drills to hit properly on those targets.
Is your background as a geo?
No. My background is financial. Actually, I started my career with PwC, then RBC Dominion Securities, and for the last 20 years, I've been focusing on mining.
Okay. I really like not only where you guys are located for both projects, but how tightly you're held and like you guys have a lot of good data to go off of, so you're not drilling blindly. So I think your risk reward setup here is definitely in your favor.
Yeah, I mean, I think second half of 2026 is going to be very exciting for us. Especially with very tight capital structure that we have. We've been adamant about dilution. We want to minimize that as much as possible until we start getting some results. If we could come into a situation where we're coming out with drill results on a 5,000 meter drill program with only anywhere from 32 to sub 50 million shares, we're in a good position.
Yeah, you'd be in a really good position, especially with
I
where
think
commodity prices are now.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some stock appreciation, and I think the asset is going to definitely get re-rated.
I don't think you have a US OTC ticker. Is that something you're thinking about down the road?
Yeah, we're working on it. We should have that within probably the next 45 to 60 days.
Okay.
So we've been adamant about that as well because we need some exposure there. It opens up quite a bit of the market for us.
No, I think that's a great plan. So just wrapping up here, what do you think is the biggest fundamental driver through the end of this year for your company?
The fundamental driver is going to be the results of the twin holes that we're going to be doing on Arikepay and the follow up of that 4 to 5,000 meter drill program. That's going to be the catalyst for us. I think it's going to be fantastic. If we come out with any result that's near the historical results that we have, I think we're going to be well rewarded.
Okay. Well, for my Canadian listeners, definitely take a look at Precore Gold. Really interesting setup here. Like we just talked about, some really interesting fundamental drivers here through year end. That's all for us here today. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button so you don't miss our next CEO podcast. Paul, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Pleasure.